Language evolution without trust. Why trust is not needed for language evolution to begin.
What is the problem of trust? Language typically does not provide any evidence for what is communicated. Thus, it needs trust. This is why most scholars believe that before the first steps towards language evolution can occur, there must be trust and cooperativeness. And this paper and our aim is to show that this dominant assumption is unnecessary.
So why do you tell the truth? You might answer this question with, I want to be honest, and I also want other people not to call me a liar. So in this case, we speak the truth because we feel either obligated to do so or because we are afraid of getting something like a bad reputation. But before language emerged, our ancestors were just another ape and probably had no ethical concerns, nor did they need to be afraid of getting a bad reputation, since gossip did not exist back then. In this natural environment, deception should be likely. Words are cheap.
Nevertheless, honesty is a default in human communication. People are in general cooperative. This includes speaking the truth.
This is a problem. Language needs cooperation, and cooperation can be secured through a few different mechanisms. Gossip, for example, social norms, or strong reciprocity, among others. But all of these mechanisms, as I just cited, already need language. So we come to this dilemma. And our suggestion here is exactly that, to solve this dilemma. And in this presentation, we're going to show you how this dilemma can actually be solved with the function-first approach.
What is a function-first approach? In general, we assume that traits develop for functions. For example, a leg develops for walking, a wing develops for flying. But when there is no leg, how can we walk? And if there is no walking, then the adaptation, which results in a leg, cannot happen.
How, for example, can the function of walking be fulfilled before any adaptation? The suggestion is that something already in place is used for the new function. So in the case of walking, fins are used to creep in the bottom of the ocean. And if this behavior is reproductively beneficial, well, then the fins will adapt over many generations to this function, and legs will slowly evolve.
To apply this method to language evolution, we would need to define the proper evolutionary function of language.
One common proposal is that the proper evolutionary function of language is to refer to displaced events. That is to say, with language, we can talk about non-present events. We can talk about the future, we can talk about the past, and even about imaginary events, while animals cannot tell any stories. How can the function of referring to non-present events and actions be fulfilled without any symbolic communication?
This is the argument. There are only two classes of signs, natural signs and non-natural signs. Natural signs are naturally connected to what they denote. For example, natural signs of measles are the spots, the red spots in the face. In a world without any symbols and without any non-natural signs, only natural signs, if anything, can refer to a displaced action. And an example of this would be that, for example, a hunter would display his or her kill as a trophy.
If I display a kill, I am trying to communicate that I hunted this animal, and this behavior is in the range of ape cognition. Displaying such natural signs could be reproductively beneficial if it, for example, raises the attractiveness to potential partners for cooperation or mating. And the function-first approach predicts that language evolved from this kind of behavior. And this proposal is actually interesting because it solves two of the major problems of language evolution, those being the problem of graduality of the emergence of syntax and also the bootstrapping problem of language and cooperativeness and trust.
So the problem of graduality is solved because when a trophy is displayed, a syntax-like structure emerges. The presenter of the trophy constitutes the agent, the trophy represents the patient, and the verb is implied in the state of the trophy because it's that. For example, if I present a head of a lion, I'm the agent and the lion is a patient, and the past action is implied. And now, if I do only one gesture, one mimetic gesture, signifying the killing or killing with a stone like this, then I mark by the direction of this verb the agent and the patient, because the action is always directed from the agent to the patient. So if I, for example, get hit, then the other is the agent and I get hit. So the direction of the verb always marks agent and patient. In both cases, a simple proposition gets expressed. So the communicator symbolizes the action at the time the communicator did the action, when he or she killed the animal. The trophy is a patient and symbolizes the animal in the moment the animal is killed. And the mimetic gesture is a verb symbolizing the action.
Moreover, since this approach suggests that first linguistic communication included indexical objects as evidence, the problem of trust, of course, disappears. From there on, the function of referring to displaced actions could have evolved further in different niches. For example, in mother and child communication and teaching, in displaying performative qualities, and also, for example, for building reciprocal relations.
Now, we hope that we have shown that the common assumption that trust and cooperativeness must have been already in place for language evolution to begin is unnecessary.
The function first approach to language evolution just dissolved the two main problems of language evolution. This means that we can now reformulate the problem in an entirely new manner. First, we explained that in order for a trait to evolve, a new behavior becomes adaptive, and then this trait evolves. This means that in the case of specifically language evolution, we would need then to search for the evolutionary configuration in which referential displacement or propositional communication became adaptive.